Today we are making Ronto Wraps. Okay, so today we are making Ronto Wraps all the way from Batu. So the first thing we're going to start with is our peppercorn sauce that we're going to put on top of our Ronto Wraps. So to do that, we're going to use some mayonnaise. About half a cup or so will do. The good thing about cooking, at least cooking in a kitchen, not necessarily baking, is you don't have to be too accurate on your measurements. Next thing we're going to put in is some sour cream. Probably about 2 tablespoons or so of sour cream. Okay, the next thing we want to add is a little bit of chives. You can use fresh chives. I just have simply some freeze-dried chives here. Salt. Just a couple of pinches of salt. But again, salt it to your preference. If you don't like a lot of salt, don't put a lot of salt. Of course, this is a key really to our peppercorn sauce, and that is fresh cracked peppercorns. You can't really replicate fresh cracked peppercorns with just the powdered or the pre-ground pepper that you can just buy in a little jar. So I highly recommend to get a grinder, or you can buy a grinder combo already at the grocery store. Highly recommend that for this recipe. Next thing we need is the juice of a lemon. Okay, so about half a lemon will do. I like to just take my lemon and roll it a little bit to help break up the inside a bit so that juice comes out. And we will add just a good squirt. Now, made a mistake. I should have taken this seed out. Should have got a little seed in there. No worries. Gone. All right, so we've got a little mayonnaise, a little sour cream, some chives, salt, fresh ground cracked pepper, and just put half a juice of a lemon, and we're gonna go ahead and mix that up. So we're gonna go mix on that. Take a look at that. Now, if it still looks just a little bit thick to you, no worries, add a little bit of water. A little bit of water won't hurt anything. We want it to be the consistency of a drizzle, if you will. So you just want it to drizzle on top of your final Ronto wrap. Now we've got one more key ingredient. This is just almost as important as the peppercorns, and that is garlic. Grab my garlic. I'm gonna go with just a clove of garlic in this. If you like super strong garlic, go for it. I'm just gonna go with a little bit. I want a super strong garlic flavor, so I'm just going to do 1 clove of garlic and just take that garlic You can chop up the garlic, or you can use a little garlic press like I have here. Works really, really well. And Again, if you like a lot of garlic, go ahead and put 2 cloves in there. Maybe even put 3 cloves. Not gonna hurt anything. We'll go ahead and mix in that garlic. This peppercorn sauce is something that you are gonna want to make at least 30 minutes ahead of time. You're gonna wanna make it 30 minutes to an hour ahead of time. Set it in your refrigerator and just let it do its thing for a little while. Okay, when you take it out, it's gonna be delicious. If you just make it right at the time you wanna eat it, it's gonna be very heavy on the mayonnaise taste. Now, you really want those flavors to combine, meld together. It's gonna be great. So we started with that, got that in the refrigerator. We're moving on to the next step. We are moving on to making the slaw for the top of our Ronto wrap. So again, I'm gonna start with a little bit of mayonnaise. Again, I'd say probably about half a cup of mayonnaise. Really just depends on how much slaw you want to make and how much slaw mix or cabbage you're going to use. The next thing, I'm going to put a little salt and pepper in there. You know, there's few things as satisfying as being at Hollywood studios, walking through Batu, hearing the sights and sounds, and just having a delicious Ronto wrap. All right, next thing I'm gonna add is a little bit of hot sauce, a little bit of Cholula right in here, a dash or 2, your preference. Gonna add a little bit of Dijon mustard. Probably, I'd say, a tablespoon or so. And the final thing I'm going to add is a little bit of apple cider, which I knew I made it. Put it in this. Probably about a tablespoon or so of apple cider. And if I said that was the last thing, which I don't remember if I did or not, it wasn't. Actually going to add just a little bit of sugar, also about a tablespoon of sugar. Again, the great thing about making any kind of sauce or salad dressing, coleslaw dressing, so it's really a lot of what you like, which is another great reason to make this stuff at home. I mean, if you love going to Disney and you love being there and the magic and you want to bring that home, this is a great way to do it. And if there was something about it you didn't like, maybe it was too spicy or maybe it wasn't heavy enough on the sauce, you can change that at home and you can make it to where you like it and enjoy another Disney treat right in your own home. So that wasn't quite enough vinegar, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. Now, anytime you add vinegar, especially like in a coleslaw kind of dressing, you want to balance that out with the sugar. Sugar and the vinegar, the tangy, the sweet that goes together. All I did was purchase pre-made or pre-shredded coleslaw mix. This particular one comes with green cabbage, red cabbage, and carrots. That's it. So, take it. You don't have to use the whole bag. Matter of fact, I'm probably not going to use the whole bag because I'm aiming to make about 4 or 5 Ronto wraps here, and I'm not going to need that much coleslaw. So, might make a little extra for later, but that's all. So, give that a mix. Mix with a fork. And just work that dressing around. Starting to look good. It's really starting to smell good. It's almost like I'm in Batu. So once you feel like you got that pretty well mixed, you can taste it for seasoning. That's perfect for me. I'm not a super salty person, so that's really good. I taste a little bit of the hot sauce. I can taste a little bit of that Dijon mustard. Again, mix it kind of to your preference, but I think this is great. So I'll throw that in the fridge also. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our pork chops ready. And all I have is just some boneless pork chops. If you've ever looked, usually when I just go and have a Ronto wrap, I just eat it and say, this is delicious. And I never really, truly look what's in it. But if you go look what's in it, you will see that there are thin slices of pork. And so what I've done is I've just got a pork chop, a boneless pork chop. You can find this at your local grocery store, but it's frozen. And hopefully what it should do is allow me to cut it pretty thin, because we really want it to be pretty thin. So be super, super careful with this. And there you go. So that's our first slice. So I'm going to continue doing that. I'll be back in just a moment. We'll get that into the pan and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. All right, so we're ready to get our pork chops, our thinly sliced pork chops. I finished those up, ready to get those in the pan. We got a nonstick pan going over here. It's on a medium-high heat. Gonna give it a little bit of a little spray. Even though it is a nonstick pan, get a little oil in there. And we're gonna go ahead and get this pork chop on the pan, or in the pan. That nice little sizzle. I did have this on for about 5 minutes before I threw these in here. Now remember, they are frozen, so this pan is going to cool down pretty quickly. I'm trying to crowd all that anyway. Probably not the best choice in the world. Add a little bit of our salt to the top. And again, some of that freshly cracked pepper. And for a little bit of extra flavor, we're going to throw a little bit of, just a little Worcestershire sauce on there. And we are good to go. I'm actually going to kind of cover it up with just a little piece of oil just to keep it from splattering. Just to keep from making a mess. Also holds the heat in a little bit too. So if you have a lid you want to put on there, go for it. You want to put a piece of foil on there, that's great too. We're almost ready for our Ronto wraps. We've got the slaw, we've got the peppercorn sauce, both in the refrigerator. We've got our pork on the skillet, on the stove. The only thing left we need to do is we're going to toast our naan bread. We're going to cook our sausage, and we're ready to have a Ronto wrap. Okay guys, we're back. It's a little loud. I've got the fan going on here, but just to give you an idea what this is starting to look like, I did turn it up to about medium high. You get a little more color on these, but they're starting to look pretty good. They're almost ready. I'm actually going to throw them in the oven in just a few moments to help keep them warm while I finish off the dish. But another 2 minutes or so, those are going to be ready to go. Okay guys, these are definitely ready to take off. Look at that. That's what we're looking for right there, that brown color. All of the liquid that was in my pan now gone. So I'll go ahead and get that out. Now what I did here is I went ahead and cut these sausages right in half. put that side down. A nice little color on there. Now the reason I went ahead and cut them in half was because it's really just a little bit too difficult to eat with the pork and one of these really large. So if you get a sausage or a hot dog that's not as big, hey, cook it normally. But see if I can sneak that one there. Let those go for a few minutes. All right, guys, I want you to get a look at how delicious these sausages are beginning to look. Look at this caramelization here we're getting on those sausages by cutting them in half. I mean, that is going to be awesome. Now these are almost done. So again, I've got our oven on warm. Just kind of keep everything until we're ready to eat. All right, guys, we're all finished with those Ronto Wraps. I've got my oven on warm just to keep the pork and to keep the sausage warm. So I'll go ahead and get those things out of the oven so we can go ahead and assemble this. Now, another thing that I did, guys, was I put this naan bread in the warmer. I just put the oven on warm, didn't put on 350 or anything like that, just warm. If your oven has a warm setting or just as low as it will go. So I put these on there so this naan bread's nice and warm. The next thing I'm going to do is add the pork chops. So I just take some of the slices of pork chops. I'm just going to kind of put those on there. I'm going to take our piece of sausage that I cut in half. Remember, if you just these were very big. These were from our wholesale club, so you know they tend to be a little bit bigger than what you might find in your normal supermarket. If you just get the small bratwurst or something, again, up to you. You find the one that you like the most, and that's what you go with. Going into the refrigerator to get our slaw and our peppercorn sauce. Next, we're going to top this with the slaw. Put that slaw in there just like that. Starting to look delicious. Okay, got the slaw on top. Grab a spoon. Gonna add in that pepper, or add that peppercorn sauce we made up on top. Just drizzle it like so. Again, there is no right or wrong on battue. There you have it. We have our Ronto Wrap all the way from Batu, Hollywood Studios. Gonna give it just a little taste. So just fold it up. Takes me to another world. Takes me right to Batu. This is so similar to what you guys will get when you go to Hollywood Studios. Again, of course, every ingredient's not going to be exactly the same, but this is delicious. We've got the sausage. We've got that pork chop that we slice thin. We've got the slaw. We've got that peppercorn sauce that we made, and we put it on this naan bread. It is delicious. So try this out. Let me know how you like it. Let us know here at the Castle Crew what you thought about it. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And until then, we'll see you next time.